The real cost of a family isn't the kids. It's the day you can no longer afford to lose your job. You're planning to start a family. Your job pays well enough and your wife intends to keep working too. 2 paychecks, a good house, 2 kids. Nothing about that sounds risky. But the real bill begins when one income suddenly has to carry the entire family and every obligation attached to it. Now jump a few years ahead. For now, your wife is at home with 2 small children. It all sits on you. Mortgage, 2 cars, insurance, food, medical bills, debt. The bank, the insurer, and your lenders will all outlive your bad month. Your family might not. And by the end, you'll be able to test whether your future family survives a bad month. Not a perfect one. When you live alone, the paycheck belongs to you. Rent, food, and bills go out first. What's left is freedom. You can bank it, quit a job, move to another city, buy something for yourself, or just take a month off. Once you have a family, the same paycheck still lands in the same bank account. But before it even arrives, it has already been divided among groceries for 4, the mortgage, the cars, insurance, medical care, and debt. That's what men underestimate. The question a man asks is, can I afford a child? But a family isn't one more expense added to your life. It resets what every single month costs you. School supplies, medicine, shoes that somehow don't fit anymore, gifts, trips, and 100 small purchases that each look harmless on their own. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, housing and transportation already took more than half of the average American household spending in 2024. Food piled on almost $850 a month. Housing, transportation, and food already eat a huge share of the budget. And that's just the baseline. The moment a child is on the way, the bill starts growing before you leave the hospital. In the United States, Peterson KFF ran the numbers on families insured through an employer. Even with that coverage, the average family still paid around $2,700 out of pocket. That is not the sticker price of every birth. It's a warning. Insurance does not make that first bill disappear. Then, 5 days a week, someone has to be with the child. Either a parent steps back from work for a while, or the family pays for daycare or a nanny. In 2025, the reported average cost of childcare in the United States topped $13,000 a year. This is where the plan that sounds so obvious, my wife will work too, starts to break, and not because anyone did anything wrong. Recovery after birth takes time. The child gets sick. Daycare can eat most of the second income. Relatives may live too far away. If that second income does come back, the family gets stronger. But a budget that depends on your wife returning quickly, affordable daycare, and relatives who are always available is a bet on the perfect month. Even when the second income returns, a single medical bill can test the plan. Before a family, health insurance feels like a boring line on your pay stub. Afterward, it's covering several people at once. In 2025, the average total premium for employer-sponsored family health coverage in the United States reached almost $27,000 a year. Employers usually covered most of that bill, but workers themselves put in about $570 a month on average. And that's just the standing premium. Actual care can still cost more on top. Sickness bills a family twice. First comes the doctor, then come lost hours, a missed bonus, or no ability to earn at all. Insurance with no cash behind it does not cover the whole risk. Once the house and the cars are in the picture, one number matters more than your salary. How long does the whole setup last without it? Once children arrive, housing and cars quietly become long-term commitments too. When it's just the two of you, a small apartment feels temporary. Then a child arrives and you want a separate bedroom. A second child comes and you want another. You need a safe neighborhood, a better school, room for the stroller. Cars go the same way. One small car starts to feel unsafe. Then you need a second one. One adult drives to work while the other handles the doctor, daycare, and the grocery run. These stop being purchases. They become contracts that run for years. Mortgage, interest, property taxes, repairs, 2 car payments, fuel, 2 insurance policies. Every one of them makes sense on its own. Together, they spend your future paychecks before you earn them. The real trap shows up when fixed payments are built on two full incomes. You add the two incomes together and decide you can handle the bigger house and the pricier car. On paper it works, but when the mortgage, the cars, and daily life all demand two paychecks, the second income stops being a safety margin. It's already spent just to make the month close. Here's the real point. The real cost isn't the total amount you spend after getting married and having children. It is the number of people and obligations that begin depending on your next paycheck. Picture a normal Tuesday. You're laid off, and not because you're bad at the job. The company lost a client, closed a department, or changed leadership. Your income ends that day. The mortgage doesn't know that you're out of work. The car loan doesn't know you're burned out. Your kids still need feeding. If your wife works and her income covers the basics, you've got time. If she's home with the kids, ill or only now restarting her career, or if daycare and nanny costs eat most of the second income, the whole structure sits on you. And that's when a cost shows up that never appears on any bank statement. Losing your income is no longer something you can afford, not even for a few months. The job may be making you miserable, the boss may humiliate you, you may be burned out and know this career leads nowhere. But the mortgage, the cars, and your family's basic bills will not pause. So you keep showing up. Not because you chose this job, but because decisions you already made chose it for you. This is where being the provider stops sounding noble. You become the only load-bearing pillar. If it cracks, it isn't only your life that comes down. You can tell yourself, I'll just find another job. Maybe you will, but how long does that take? And how long can your family hold out? Here is the number that matters more than the size of your salary. Your financial runway measured in months. How many months can your family survive if the main income stops today? In 2025, just 55% of American adults said their savings covered 3 months of expenses. And that's American adults across the board, not just families with 2 kids, a mortgage, and 1 earner. So the point isn't that you should skip having a family, and it isn't that you have to be rich first. A family may turn out to be the best decision of your life, but love doesn't erase the arithmetic. If anything, the more people depend on you, the less your plan should rest on luck. Before the child arrives, don't sit there pricing the stroller. Price out the first 36 months of that child's life. Build 3 versions of your budget. In the first, both of you work. In the second, only one of you works. In the third, the main income temporarily drops to 0. Include the birth, income you lose while caring for the child, daycare or a nanny. Don't run on advertised averages. Use the real prices where you actually plan to live and the real terms your employers offer. Then open the health insurance policy itself. Find the family premium, the amount you pay before coverage kicks in, and the family's annual out-of-pocket maximum. Check your short-term disability coverage and your life insurance, not because you're after a big payout, but so that if something happens to you, your family gets time to recover without losing the house. Now look at the mortgage and the cars. If the numbers only work with 2 full paychecks, you aren't buying comfort. You're selling your future freedom. Your basic obligations have to survive losing one income for a while. Build an emergency fund sized to the months it would realistically take to land another job at roughly the same pay. And get ready for that search before you need it. Keep in touch with people in your industry and know exactly what you do in the first 7 days after a layoff. That's what being ready for a family actually means. Not saving enough for the perfect wedding, not signing the biggest mortgage the bank will approve, and not assuming 2 paychecks keep arriving forever. Being ready means you build a life where a single bad month doesn't turn love into a financial wreck. If this breakdown helped, hit like and subscribe to the channel. Every week, I take apart the financial traps that make a good life harder to reach.